My point was, no matter who's talking about it, whether it's USADA or whoever and this and that, it's not even worth talking about right now.
Who knows? The thing is, like the USADA testing pool, I don't want to harp on this too much, but this is a giant issue for multiple reasons.
Now, it's no longer news that the UFC dumped the United States Anti-Doping Agency, and the agency won't be overseeing the UFC's anti-doping program anymore, since their contract expired at the end of 2023.
Doesn't matter to me. We're moving on, and good luck to them.
So what went wrong? And what's the real reason the UFC got rid of USADA? The UFC teamed up with USADA back in 2015 to handle their anti-doping efforts, and it was a big deal because it was the first time a mixed martial arts organization put their athletes through testing as strict as the Olympics.
It's been incredible to watch. If you're truly a fan of combat sports and you truly know what's going on here, pretty damn good.
It was a huge milestone for the sport. Although the program started officially on July 1st, UFC fighters didn't really feel the impact until October. In those early months, they were busy learning about PEDs and what to expect from the program. During their 8-year relationship, USADA ran over 27,000 tests on UFC fighters and had full control over testing, judging, educating, and researching banned substances. This made fighters using performance-enhancing drugs rare instead of common. In 2020, a big survey by The Athletic asked around 170 fighters what they thought about the USADA's role. Nearly 80% said that the UFC's move to let USADA run an independent anti-doping program had a huge impact on the sports culture. Over the 9 years, the program grew and adapted with new policies as labs got better at finding even tiny amounts of banned substances, making contamination from food, meds, and supplements a new challenge. Throughout the program, 102 fighters were penalized, including one with a lifetime ban. The survey showed that 59.4% of the fighters supported the program as it was, so it seemed like a solid partnership. But nobody expected the UFC and USADA to go from partners to rivals, turning into a messy breakup.
Listen, it is what it is. They did what they did. They're in a business where they're looking to bring other sports leagues in. They were with us for 8 years. We helped put them on the map. They helped us build an incredible program. This is how you're going to end your relationship with us? Who else would want to do business with these guys after that? Not me.
The trouble started when Conor McGregor hinted at rejoining the UFC anti-doping program. After breaking his leg in a July 2021 fight, McGregor had surgery and then stepped out of the USADA drug testing pool to focus on recovery and rehab.
The USADA pool first. He's filling out the paperwork. I don't know how soon that'll be done or what's going on, but that's his business that he's handling with USADA.
When he talked about getting back into the testing pool, it was a big sign he might return to fighting. But here's where things got messy. McGregor's temporary retirement and noticeable body changes led to rumors that he might have used banned substances to heal faster and bulk up for a movie role. McGregor hadn't been tested for 2 years, and according to the UFC's anti-doping policy, written with USADA, any fighter coming back to the pool must be tested for 6 months and pass 2 drug tests before fighting again. So under USADA rules, McGregor needed 6 months of testing before he could compete, unless he got an exemption. The UFC wanted this exemption for Conor, but USADA wouldn't allow it. USADA's CEO, Travis Tigart, made it clear. We have been clear and firm with the UFC that there should be no exception given by the UFC for McGregor to fight until he has returned 2 negative tests and been in the pool for at least 6 months, Tigart told ESPN. No athlete is above the rules, even if you're a publicly traded company and you might stand to make $100 million at the end of the fiscal year or something. Now, the UFC can waive the 6-month rule if they think it would be unfair to the athlete. Even if they waive it, the fighter still has to pass 2 drugs tests before fighting again. They've done this with Brock Lesnar and Miesha Tate.
I was like, you know what? Just let's do it. Yeah, what the hell?
Tate retired to have kids, and Lesnar had never been in the pool because his earlier UFC days were before USADA took over the anti-doping program. However, when Lesnar came back for UFC 200 in 2016, he tested positive for clomiphene, a banned substance in pre-fight tests. Unfortunately, the results came back after he fought Mark Hunt. Lesnar also failed a fight night test, and though he beat Hunt, the Nevada State Athletic Commission overturned the win, and USADA suspended Lesnar for a year. The fallout from Lesnar's positive tests led to a new rule. Now, any athlete re-entering the pool must declare any banned substances they used while out of the pool. If they test positive for those declared substances while back in the pool, it wouldn't count as a violation, but USADA could extend their time in the pool. Not wanting another Lesnar situation, USADA repeatedly told the UFC both privately and publicly that McGregor should spend at least 6 months in the drug testing pool before fighting again. But McGregor, in several interviews, said he believed he should only need to pass 2 drug tests before competing, and it seems like the UFC agreed with him.
I had a little lapse in concentration, a wake-up call from myself, from my coaches and my training partners. And I'm going to recalibrate, readjust, recuperate and return.
So even though USADA claimed they had good talks with the UFC in October 2023, things took a turn. USADA believes that the issue of testing Conor McGregor led to a major communication breakdown. According to a statement released when USADA announced the end of their partnership with the UFC, USADA thought the relationship was going well back in May. Tygart, the CEO of USADA, felt the UFC wanted to give McGregor, the biggest star, special treatment in the anti-doping process by exempting him from the 6-month rule. When USADA refused, the partnership ended. Ironically, in the same statement, USADA also announced that McGregor was back in the drug testing pool as of October 8th. Tygart mentioned he wasn't sure if the UFC would honor the 6-month rule since USADA would no longer be working with them after December 31st. This statement highlighted that the disagreement over McGregor's exemption was a major reason for the split. In response, UFC CEO Dana White called the USADA statement a straight-up scumbagism. UFC officials, including Hunter Campbell, the chief business officer, and Jeff Nowitzki, a senior vice president of athlete health and performance, addressed USADA's statement in a press conference. They threatened legal action against USADA and demanded a formal apology. Campbell strongly denied that the decision to leave USADA had anything to do with McGregor. He accused USADA of using McGregor's name to get more media coverage. Campbell said, "They use him because he gets the media attention they can't get on their own. USADA puts something out, no one cares. You connect Conor to it and it explodes. That's why I'm most disappointed with how they've handled the last 48 hours. They used an athlete to push a false narrative. I think it's incredibly unethical." Right after announcing their split from USADA, the UFC revealed it's starting its own drug testing program. Drug-Free Sport International, or DFSI, will handle the collection process under the new program beginning in January when the UFC's deal with USADA ends. DFSI already collects samples for a ton of sports clients like the NFL, NCAA, Major League Baseball, NBA, WNBA, NASCAR, PGA, LPGA, FIFA, and even CrossFit. They basically collect samples for everyone. The new program will be overseen by independent administrator George Pirro, a retired FBI special agent famous for leading the 2004 interrogation of Saddam Hussein after his capture. Pirro will be in charge of handling drug-related infractions and punishments. And about McGregor fighting, it looks like there's nothing stopping that now, as McGregor is set to headline UFC 303 in June against Michael Chandler. Whether or not McGregor was the reason for the split, opinions about USADA were mixed in the combat sports world. Some people praised USADA for cleaning up the sport and leveling the playing field. Others felt USADA did little to stop substance use and ruin careers, like those of Tom Lawler and Josh Barnett, with its overreach and lack of accountability. So maybe it's a good thing or a bad thing that USADA is out. Either way, this split gives the UFC a chance to get things right this time. So what do you think? Did USADA do its job as intended, or was the UFC trying to give its biggest star an exemption? Let me know in the comments section below, and as usual, be sure to drop a like on the video and smash that subscribe button to stay updated on our latest videos. Thanks for watching.